Hi, and welcome to Carolina Varsity's look at Week 5 of the 2013 season. I'm Dale Ross.
I'm the pit man, Matt Morrow, and we're going to start our previews here with one of the big ones this week. We don't have that many. But Independence is going up to Huff and taking on the Huskies. A lot of talk about Huff. Are they real? Are they not? Once again, Independence is in a game against a motivated team that wants to prove that they're real.
Right.
Key for Independence this week, for me, you got to find a way to run the ball to Isaiah Robinson. You got to get the man going downhill, get him north and south, and get your line off the ball and get some push. Because Huff, their strength lies in the secondary. And if you're going to beat them, you got to be able to be balanced and keep them off balance on the defensive side of the ball. The key for Huff, I think they got to be balanced on offense and be aggressive. West Mex showed you can run the ball on Independence. Huff, I think they've already shown they can run the ball on people. But still, you don't want to get Independence in a situation where they're selling out for the run, and hitting a brick wall. So you have to hit some plays off play action. I think Independence maybe moves 8 guys in the boxes who try to slow down the run. You're going to have opportunities to make plays over the top, and we've seen Huff do that already this season. And I think that's the way you got to attack Independence this week.
Yeah, I agree on as far as with Huff, the key, let's start out with Independence.
Mm-hmm.
First key would be they do have to run the ball. They've not really established a run all year with Robinson, not like they should.
Right.
Division I back, and they still are questioning whether they can run the ball. And I think in this ball game they will need to do that. There's a lot of tidying up, I think, that Independence has to do on their offense.
Right.
They want to get that passing game going. I think you're going to have to get that run game going. So in all honesty, if I'm Independence, that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to come out and I'm going to establish a run. I'm going to challenge my offensive linemen to make it happen, and get the run going. Defensively, they've got to stop the run. I think that's what that's my key for Huff, is to run the ball, and I think the key for Independence is going to be they've got to stop the run. That is apparently their weak spot, exposed a couple of weeks ago, really exposed last week. So you have to work on that defense this week and find ways to stop the run. That's I say it a lot: defend the edges and push it inside, and I think you need to Independence. You need to do that. If I'm Huff. My key on the defense is I'm going to bring it on that defensive line. So you can.
They got the guys that can do it.
They've got the guys that can do it, and I'm going to challenge my defensive line to be in that backfield. So if it's Robinson running the ball, doesn't matter. I'm going to put pads on him. If it's they're throwing Hopkins throwing the ball, doesn't matter. I think they need to get hard push out of their front seven, and just attempt to dominate and control that offensive line. I think that's a key. If you do that, I believe everything else is just going to fall into place. They've got the secondary to cover. I think they can go man. Personally, I think Huff can go man up and then apply hard pressure up front. Bring 5. Run blitz. I'm not. Run blitz can work out against the pass as well, but I'm a fan of a run blitz, and I think this would be a game that I would do that.
All right, well, that's one of the big ones we have. The other big one we got is Porter Ridge going over to Sun Valley in the Battle of Cookout. That is earned the nickname for this battle. Porter Ridge, I think their key, you got to control Albert Funderburk in the wing T. We saw Sun Valley earlier in the season. They had a lot more success right now the wing T than the spread. The numbers that I've seen lately from Funderburk leads me to believe they're more wing T now, which I think fits their personnel a lot better. So you got to control him. Don't let him get outside. Don't let him get into space. Like Dale likes to say, control the edges, funnel them back inside. If you do that, I think you'll win the game, in all honesty. The key for Sun Valley, I think you can't allow the big play. Jarek Robbins for Porter Ridge is having a great season, and he's had a lot of big plays, both on special teams offense and defense. And that goes for all three in this case. In a game like this, you want to keep it tight. You want to keep it close. Porter Ridge is probably favored a little bit, but they got a new head coach. You want them to feel the pressure, see how they're going to react this season. In pressure situations, they've been kind of one-on-one. They had the close loss to Mount Tabor, and they pulled through against Providence. So what's going to happen when Porter Ridge is in a close game?
Right.
They've showed both sides of it there. Now, I think Sun Valley's got to control the clock. And that wing T offense, grind it out, and that's going to help you keep the game close, limit the amount of big plays Porter Ridge can have, and you get in the fourth quarter, anything can happen.
Yeah, Battle of Cookout, Battle of 74, Highway 74 splits the two. Battle of North and South, Porter Ridge North, Sun Valley is south of 74. It's a big rivalry. It's a short rivalry since Porter Ridge is a fairly new school, but probably one of the most intense rivalries I bet going in the state. This is a town truly divided that does not like each other. They pull against each other when they're not playing each other. So definitely the game has been a close ball game every time it's been played. Last year they played twice. They played for the conference championship, 16-0 Porter Ridge win. And then they played in the third round of the playoffs, and I think that was, I think it was 28-21.
Okay.
I don't have that score here. It's a one-score ball game in the third round of the playoffs. I've attended this game a couple of times over the last few years, and it's just a fantastically fun game to watch. But on to the game, if I'm Sun Valley, offensively, Thunderbird and Cutchess. Got to give him the ball. And not just through the standard runs, but maybe a screen to him some.
Yeah, we see him take a screen pass to the house earlier this season.
Exactly. So get him. He's got to get his touches, and he's got to get 20+ touches. I think that's going to be the key for them offensively. He's a playmaker. He can make things happen. Get him the ball. Defensively, I think Porter Ridge is going to come at them with a little bit of everything, but pass especially. So I think you're going to have to do a good job of defending that. If I'm Porter Ridge, new coach, this is going to be a new situation for new coaches on both sides. What are we talking about?
Yeah, that's true.
It's new coaches on both sides of the ball. Defensively, you're going to have to, keep your eyes on Thunderbird. This is your game to lose, in my opinion. I do favor you by probably one score. I think it's going to be a very tight ball game, but Thunderbird could be a difference maker in this game, more so than anybody, I think. Porter Ridge has Luke Bailey, who can also turn things up for him, and I think on he plays both sides of the ball. Maybe a little bit of getting the ball to him on offense as well. I don't know. I think it's going to be mainly keep your intensity. The game is at Sun Valley. Don't lose focus, Porter Ridge. Keep focus, contain Thunderbird, and do what you've been doing offensively, and you should squeak one out. Mess up in any of these areas, and I think Sun Valley's got a good shot. I think it's great. It's going to be a great ball game.
Can't wait to see it, guys. Another big one is kind of lost a little luster with the loss last week. Butler traveling up to Richmond County to take on the Richmond County Raiders.
Not the Spiders.
Not the Spiders. I think the key for Butler in this one, you got to rise to the challenge. You're a former state champ. You've been punched in the mouth a couple times this year. You got injured players down. What are you going to do? You're going on the road to take on the state power. Show some of that championship pride. Rise up and accept it and show what Butler football is all about. The key for Richmond County, you got a team that's state power, but they're kind of wobbly. They're like an old boxer, old champion, trying to hang on. That's my analogy. Knock them out early. Don't let them get the confidence up, and then they start, having some real belief in themselves and start feeling like they're still, that top team, and then you're going to be in a fight all night long.
Mm-hmm.
Knock them out early and keep the doubt in their mind. Let them know what Richmond County football's all about. You got two proud programs here, and I think both of them have to come with confidence and play kind of, aggressive, I guess is the best way I can put it. Richmond's running that spread option. It's tough to stop. Butler's had some issues stopping the run. Mount Tabor, hurt them with the run last week. It's going to be a different type of run game. You got to be real disciplined in what you're doing. And, we'll see with Butler. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make that adjustment, especially with all the injuries they had.
Right.
Going into this one. Offensively, I hate to say it, but Ratliff has got to put this team on his shoulders, especially this week with guys being out. I think he's got to make some plays with his feet. I think you got to get him outside the pocket, some rollouts, run pass options. He's going to have to do a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and in order to pull what most will call an upset at this point.
Okay, for me, I'm going to try not to be too long-winded. I promise not. I think, you talked about confidence, and that is going to be a big thing for Butler going into Richmond. Richmond should have lots of confidence, and I'm sure there's a lot of questions, not just in our minds, but in, unfortunately, probably in players' minds. So you've got to kind of put that behind, like Petman said, your state, defending state champion. So defending the run is going to be the big, I think, the big key for Butler on defense, and really I think establishing the run on offense, and then they can work into the passing game. On the other side of the game, for Richmond, I believe do what you've been doing, run, just continue it. I do kind of believe in that the philosophy of get a team down early. You can make them start questioning if they already have questions in their mind, and so if you've got ways to fast pace it early and get some scores on the board quickly, you might develop more doubt in the Butler players' minds. Obviously, they need to not let that happen, but these are high school kids we're talking about here, and if they don't have that championship mentality in their head, it's going to be fairly easy to get that doubt squeezed in there. Right. So run the ball. You're going to do what you've got an offense. You run what you've been doing. Defensively, I would work hard to apply pressure on the offensive line of Butler. That seems to be the weak point. Butler's got, whether people will believe it or not, they got some skill at the wide positions. They've got a good running back. They've got a competent quarterback. Just don't give him time. Get through the line. Whether they're running, whether they're passing, control the line. Kind of like what I said with Independence. I think in the same mindset, doing the same kind of thing. You'd be an aggressive up front 7 defense and put that pressure there. Do like Mallard Creek did. Live in that backfield. If you live in that backfield, it's going to be very, very difficult for them. And they're going to have another one of those 11 yards in the first half type of ball game if they're not careful. So obviously Butler needs to work hard to not have that happen. Offensive linemen have got to step up, and defensively Richmond's D-line step up.
And there we go.